Deebo Samuel was wide receiver 38 last year, 56 receptions, 94 targets, 632 yards, 2 touchdowns, an average of 7.2 targets per game. Thoughts on Deebo Samuel?
What a kind of a polar opposite that we're seeing this year, coming into this year for Deebo, right? So this time last year, we were talking about the Niners. Deebo ended up as wide receiver 4, I believe. When we were talking about him last year coming in, now he's 38. We knew that there was going to be regression, right? Like we knew that Deebo wasn't going to be running the ball as much. But I don't know if we thought that the regression was going to be wide receiver 4, right? He was one of the busts from last year, right? People were drafting Deebo, even with thinking the regression and even with getting him at a little bit of a discount. No one saw this coming. I think we see a little bit of a rebound, but I don't know if we see enough of a rebound to draft him where he's being drafted, guys. Like, I'm just not that big of a Deebo believer. I think Brandon Ayuk, who we're going to talk about in a minute, has really kind of become the true number one there in San Francisco. And Deebo, yes, he has athleticism. Yes, he's dynamic. Yes, you can put him all over the field, but it's not equating to meaningful touches. And it's not equating to meaningful opportunities for him to put points up on the board, both in fantasy and in the NFL. So I am going to be looking for other options.
Some of that was due to the fact that, the Niners were running through quarterbacks last year. They still managed to keep winning, but they were running through quarterbacks, and it's hard to have that kind of chemistry when there's a different guy every 3 weeks. I'm with you on the fact that, like, in the 4th round, that's not the production that you want out of your, that 4th pick that you're making. I can't justify it. And even, you put together those totals of what he did. I mean, even if his, with his receptions and his carries, you're still looking at 98, and there are guys out there, there are receivers out there that are getting, 98 receptions, right? Like, I just think that there is better value out there, especially at the receiver position. To get the little bit of the bonus, because he is getting the ball in his hands as a running back or, as a runner in those gadget plays. But I agree with you, Kevin. I think that the headache is not worth it. And I am looking elsewhere in the 4th round.
Deebo Samuel's not a guy that I'm going to be drafting with his current ADP. Coming off the board 40 overall, that's a 4th round pick. And coming off the board, wide receiver 16, there are 3 guys directly behind him that I would rather take coming off the board as wide receiver 17, 18, 19 that I would much rather take, that being Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, and Calvin Ridley. I would draft every one of those guys over Deebo Samuel this ye's So Deebo's just where he's coming off the board at. He's too rich for that capital for me. So I'm going to be out on Deebo.